The Australian Test summer is here, and if you're going to have a bet, use Picklebet. Head over to picklebet.com.au, use the code TURBO, make sure to let them know that you're coming over from our podcast. It helps us out massively. Make sure to know what you're really gambling with. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858. What is up? Welcome to the Supercoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, and I'm here for the preview of the summer of cricket coming up. We have the first test coming to you at Perth on Friday afternoon, starting at 1:20. I'm joined by my co-host, who can't stop playing with his bloody microphone, Jack Savage, my brother.
How you go?
How you going? What's going on? Are you excited for this year of cricket?
I am very excited. It's been a long time since we've played a test match, so I'm keen to watch this series.
Yeah, how do you think the T20s and one-day internationals against Pakistan really prepped us for the summer? I actually think it's got me much more pumped than it has in years previous, but I think there's a bad side to it as well.
Yeah, 100%. The Australians didn't really take the ODI series that serious, like I felt, because they rested all their players. As Michael Clark said, like 11 days out, they could have had more match fitness in that last game, and they're bowling more overs in the nets than they would in that ODI game.
And just not training. Instead. Yeah, I 100% agree. I guess that brings me to my first question. Where do you think ODI cricket is at? Because I 100% agree with him. If Australia as a nation and selectors aren't taking it seriously, then as a fan, like, I didn't even watch that last game because I'm like, I don't care. They've already lost this second last game. Yeah, the series is on the line, but I want to watch Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood, Pat Cummins, Steve Smith go out there and play. I don't want to watch bloody Nathan Ellis or whoever. Like all these people are brilliant talents, but to get me really into the cricket, I need to watch the best of the best.
100%. It was just a stupid decision. ODI cricket is going downhill fast, which I don't like, because I prefer ODI cricket over T20 cricket.
Yeah, I really feel like that's where the game is at the moment. I think it's kind of turning into a T20 franchise type thing where it's either T20 or Test cricket, and there could be a world or an alternate universe where Test cricket starts to die and it turns into just T20 franchise hopping.
Yeah, like, could the international game even go? Because there's just so much T20 cricket out there.
Yeah, it well and truly could. Look at the NBA. Like, the biggest NBA competition is the NBA. It's not the international game. Because it's big in America, the cricket is massive in India. It's massive in Australia. Like, we well and truly could be seeing the end of ODI cricket and eventually Test cricket. And I don't want to see that because I think cricket started traditionally as Test cricket and all these other formats come in later. I get they probably need to capitalise on T20 cricket to keep the crowd in because, like, it is dying. We need new watchers. So I 100% agree. I do like T20. I can live without ODI cricket. I think ODI, but like the thought of having ODI cricket on, Australia Day, that was always something I'd look forward to. So I really don't want to see that die in that sense, but there's nothing better than setting up for Boxing Day or the New Year's test with a drink in hand, ready for that test match. So as long as test match doesn't die, I'm okay with however hard they go at T20.
I just think they played too much of it. Unless they're going to do like tri-series and stuff, I think they should do more tri-series.
Yep.
And then try and engage everyone in it that way. Because that's when ODI cricket was the best.
Yeah.
Was when they were playing tri-series. Now they're just versing the one side, and 3-match series is just boring.
And it's like, who cares if you beat Pakistan in a 3-match series? I agree with you. If you do a tri type of series, I think it's the kind of direction the NRL should head in, where it's like the Pacific Championships, it's 3 teams and at least you're playing for something against a group of people. And I think if the schedule is known and it's regular every year, like the test matches, we know the test matches are coming every year. Yep. If we know an ODI series is going to happen every year, like whether it's against England, New Zealand, Pakistan, India, like at least that's something we can look forward to. I feel like they kind of announce it way too late, and we're kind of like, oh yeah, there's cricket on tonight. Like I didn't even know the first cricket match was on when the ODI started, but I'm glad it was because I was like, hell yeah, cricket season started.
Yeah, it's also. Do you think it could be because it's not on free to air anymore? The ODI and T20.
That could well and truly be it. Like the older generation always had it on.
Yeah.
And just always parked up and watched it. Pay TV could be the death of ODI cricket. Who knows? But moving on. So the ODI series, done and dusted. Pakistan won the series. Haris Ralph, probably player of the series.
Blitzed it, yeah.
Glenn Maxwell, 2 ducks, a golden included. What were your thoughts on his performance? And for the Australian side, who do you think should have performed better and who do you think performed well?
Well, I think all of them could have performed better. They only won the one game, and the second game they still had the same side from the first game, really, barring 1 or 2 changes. I can't really remember. But Maxwell's getting up there in age. He did get injured last night. Yeah, I don't know. I still like Maxwell. He's still a good player.
I think in the shorter format, he's needed. I like him. He's,
yeah.
You see all the people coming in, like Jake Fraser McGurk. What are your thoughts on him? Because I really think that there's a bit of an obsession with him because he swings the bat. And I don't get me wrong, I find him exciting to watch. Yeah. But I just don't like picking someone based on what you think they can put together compared to what they actually have put together. And with him, if he doesn't like have that one shot in every 10 shots where he's probably likely to get out, yeah, he can probably put together one of the best innings of all time, but he has that in his game. And I don't like how they're probably someone is missing out who probably deserves to be there. I know for a long time, you know, we had players like Ben McDermott who killed it in the BBL and didn't really get a crack. You know, you've got Josh Felipe who is a good opening batsman for the Sixers. I just feel like people are getting rewarded for highlights rather than actually building up to where they should be.
Yeah, he had that one innings where he got 129 balls and done virtually nothing since.
That's it. All right, the test squad has been announced. McSweeney and Inglis in. Have Australia shot themselves in the foot by not blooding someone younger earlier on?
No, I don't think so. I think you need to pick your best players at the time. I know Warner hadn't done much for a while. But
yeah, well, that's it. Warner was in the side for so long. You can't really blood someone else when he's in the side. Like, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're doing that.
Yeah. I just think you pick your best side, and Warner obviously wasn't in form for a while, but was still better than everyone else.
Is McSweeney the right answer?
I think so. I think it's a good pick.
He's the only one that's really stood up in the bat-off. Like, there's been a genuine bat-off leading up to this, and you know, I actually thought Sam Constas was a really good chance, and I wanted Sam Constas because I thought, you know, young, exciting, but I don't mind that McSweeney's picked because he's young, he's exciting, and he's performed when he's needed to. And these players who perform right before a test match, they end up working out for a little bit. A lot of them don't kick on, but at least you give them that chance. Like it happened with Marcus Harris. He didn't really kick on, but you got to give him that chance first.
Oh, 100%. 100. You can't not give someone a chance who's performing in Shield cricket. Like, that's what the Shield cricket's for, really, isn't it? It's to be there to get picked.
Yep, I agree. So this is the side I've got for the test series on Friday, starting on Friday. Khawaja and McSweeney opening. I've got Steve Smith at 3, Labuschagne at 4, Travis Head at 5, Mitch Marsh at 6, Alex Carey at 7, Pat Cummins at 8, Mitchell Stark at 9, Josh Hazlewood at 10, Nathan Lyon at number 11. Obviously, the controversial one there is Steve Smith and Labuschagne swap. What are your thoughts on that?
I like that. I prefer Steve Smith at 3. I always thought he should come in before Marnus because they just bat too long. And
for some reason, like, I feel like he gets really itchy feet and really wants to get out there. And if he has to wait too long, he gets frustrated and goes out there and plays shots he doesn't usually play.
Yeah.
I also like when there's an early wicket and he comes in, he feels like he needs to save the innings because there is an early wicket. So, but if there's 2 early wickets, there's so much pressure on him that it's like, I feel like he goes too slow and he doesn't build into something that is natural to him. He goes too slow trying to defend the innings, and then he'll get out off just a good ball or good tactics or something like that. So I like him at number 3.
Yeah.
And I think that's where his average is best.
I think so. I reckon he's a number 3 and definitely it's better coming in before Marnus.
I agree. And I think Marnus can be adaptable as well.
Yeah. I also don't think that will happen.
Neither do I. All right. So in terms of India versus Australia, there's been some great India versus Australia players. I want you to name your top 5 batsmen of all time. I think I'll kick it off first.
Yep.
My top 5 batsmen of all time between Australia versus India. Virat Kohli is number 5. I've got Steve Smith at number 4. I've got Ricky Ponting at number 3. Sachin Tendulkar at number 2. I think I've got Don Bradman at number 1. Steve Smith would be a lot higher if he was in good form recently, and I think he's scored the most amount of hundreds. But I just think him and Ricky Ponting are so interchangeable that, I'd love to have Steve Smith higher, but I just can't at the moment.
Yeah, I would put Steve Smith number 1. I do put Steve Smith number 1 because of that series he did just before he became captain. And every time he goes over to India,
It's true.
It's like he's just someone else.
All right, what's your list?
Well, I didn't know we were going. I just picked players that I liked from Australia.
Okay.
I've got Steve Smith, Adam Gilchrist, Dan Christian.
What?
I don't know. I always grew up liking Dan Christian. I don't know why.
Test cricket, did he? Not really.
He played 1 game.
How can he be in the top 5?
I was just picking players.
Oh, right. Doesn't really make sense.
Oh, well. Justin Langer and Brad Haddon.
Yeah, I don't mind the last 2, but yeah, probably not on theme. Top 5 bowlers, India versus Australia. I've got number 5. I've got Ashwin. I think probably hasn't performed against Australia. I'm not really basing it on them versus Australia. I'm basing it on overall. Just at the lot of the 2 you got to pick from. Number 4, I've got a dead heat between Cummins, Stark and Hazelwood. I just think they're all probably better than Ashwin, but I can't put them all on the list together. So I think by the end of their careers, we'll know who the clear number 1 out of all of them is. Maybe it'll be a debate for the ages. Who knows? Number 3, I've got Anil Kumble. Number 2, Glenn McGrath. Number 1, Shane Warne.
Yeah, nice. I've got Mitchell Johnson, Brett Lee, Glenn McGrath, Mitch Stark, and Jadeja. Because Jadeja, he can bat also, and he normally gets runs against Australia, and he rips through them when they're in India.
What's your prediction for the Test summer?
I'm going to go 3-1. I reckon it'll be 3-1 Australia.
3-1. I think 3-0.
3-0.
3-0. 3-0. I think it's going to be, and I hope Steve Smith has a comeback series because I love him.
Yeah, I think he needs to score some runs this series. He's been looking okay, but he's just been getting hit on the pad. And
he's just a tad slower than it was in the past.
He's just been kicking it in front of middle stump.
All right, well, that's it for the preview. Quick 15-minute preview, but we kick on. We'll be back.